Hi everyone, so Dan Buzzer here and I'm speaking with Kim Acworth from Acworth Recruiting, and I have been working with Kim for probably, oh goodness, close to 8 years, something like that.
Well, I've been in business exactly 7 years was the anniversary last month, so it was pretty close to when I started.
Actually, that's right, we met at a networking group back a long time ago. And you mentioned how you did things in terms of recruitment, and it sort of piqued my interest. And we had a chat, and I referred you to a client to see how it went, and it went very well. And we've been in touch since. Now, whenever anyone mentions recruitment, I forward them on to you, Kim, and always get glowing results, always get glowing feedback. And it's one of those, I mean, recruitment is a really challenging industry, isn't it? You need a little bit of luck, but you also need the processes and everything to maximize that luck that you get. So look, we spoke earlier in the week in these interesting times of everyone locked up in their homes, and the recruitment world has had its challenges and experiences. And I thought, what a great opportunity to do a quick video and share it with people. And like we were discussing just before the call, what we're finding is people are looking at doing things in a different way, and often they're discovering, hey, maybe I should have been doing this before I had to do this. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you want to give people just a quick rundown on whereabouts, how you got into this and why you do this, and we can go from there?
Absolutely. Thanks, Dan. And thank you for the opportunity to work with so many of your wonderful clients over the past 7 years. It has been a great working relationship with you and your clients, and I love doing it. So first of all, big thanks for that. So Acworth Recruitment, why I started, I've been in recruitment my whole career. So, a whole 7 years, I'm not that old. So no, it's more than 15 years now I've been in recruitment. I have worked with a big international recruitment agency before. I've worked with a niche recruitment agency. I've worked in-house in recruitment with the Sunshine Coast Regional Council, Unity Water, etc. there. But I started my own business to actually work with small and medium-sized businesses because that's where I, initially started the focus of my business, because they don't get the professional help that they need. They're all doing it themselves, and they're doing everything themselves between, trying to run the business, the HR, all those things. And then recruitment, they're actually not very good at it, to be honest. Mostly because they don't have time to focus on it and get things right. So I wanted to be able to help them, but they traditionally don't like using recruitment agencies because recruitment agencies are too expensive. And I agree 100%. That percentage-based charge model for traditional recruitment agencies is just ridiculous. So I charge on an hourly rate model. So I get paid for the work that I do, and it actually builds and proves integrity with my clients as well, because I'm not about, getting somebody in a seat with them who's paid the most, so I get paid more. It is about actually working with them and helping them to get who they need and understand their businesses. So that's really why I started, is to give that opportunity to the small and medium-sized business owners that hasn't been there before.
It's funny listening to you say that, because that was pretty much the same experience that I had. Grew up in family business. My old man working stupid hours a week, 100 hours a week, turning to me one day and saying, "Work hard, son, and one day all this will be yours." So I left home and I went and got a job with a guy that was worth 350 million. And I just saw a completely different side of business. And then I got into franchising, and I saw systems and all that sort of stuff. And I realized that people like my dad and other people in small business had no clue what they were doing or what they were missing out on. So from my experience of taking businesses over and fixing them up and selling them, I put together my own process, and then now for the last 18 years been delivering that to people who are open to doing things differently. So there's an old saying, Mark Twain used to say, "Don't teach pigs to sing, it wastes your time and annoys the pigs." And it's so true. It doesn't matter how good your product or service is or how much you can improve their lives. If they're not open to doing something differently, it's not going to happen. And I remember Robert Kiyosaki talking about his analogy of intelligence, and it's the ability to take two opposing ideas in your mind at the same time and compare them to each other. And I think that is the situation that you and I both go through, is taking it to people and knowing we can probably help them, but they have to sort of be able to consider letting go of their old ways and give this new way a go. And I know some of the people I referred to you, some have jumped on board and gone, this is fantastic. And some have gone, oh, this is a bit different to what I'm used to. I think I'll try putting an ad in a newspaper again. So yeah, really interesting that you say that. So your process, the thing that I love about your process is it's all about quality, not quantity. So the old thing was you put ads up all everywhere, you get 50 responses, and then you start going through and sort of crossing your fingers and hoping that you get the right person. Whereas you have a proper process you go through. And the other thing is how leveraged your process is, which has always been quite leveraged in the way that you do it, that I'd like you to explain. But nowadays people are going, oh, wow, this is, it's something that they have to do it this way at the moment because we're sort of locked away in our homes, but it's something that they could have been doing earlier and hopefully will do in the future. So do you want to just give us an idea of how your process is a bit different?
Sure. Yeah, look, you still have to place an ad on Seek or somewhere like that if you're going out to market. It is just a must do. And yeah, unfortunately, online job boards like Seek are too easy now for candidates to lodge an application. So they'll just click apply and not necessarily have read the ad properly. So you do still have to screen those candidates, but it is very time consuming for managers and business owners to do it themselves. So when I'm doing it, it really is a quick process because I've got a follow-on process from there. So at the moment, if you're doing recruitment yourself and you place an ad on Seek, you'll then be screening candidates. What do you do then? You look at their resume. What's your next process? You're usually deciding who you bring in for an interview. That's not much information to make a decision on. So I use some really good online technology and have been for 7 years now to get more information from those candidates. So it's an application tracking system in a way. So I'll do an initial screen of candidates and then send them an email and ask, explain that we're using an online process, give them a link to the online platform that's specifically set up with questions relevant to the job they're applying for and the business and industry they're applying to. They then answer that in their own time where they can put the detail in, put the thoughts into it, and then that comes through. So we can screen all of that additional information then. So, you know where they live and how far the commute is, you know what salaries they're looking for, you know what skills they've got to match up. So then you're only going to contact people that match the job better. And pick up the phone because you still need that, personal contact. You can't do it completely remotely. Candidates, need that. You need to have a chat with them and, see how their communication is, talk to them about the job. But that phone screening process then is a lot faster because you've already got so much information on them. Then coming into my office for an hour, taking time off of work, me writing a whole heap of notes and then typing up a report for a client, that just doesn't make sense anymore. It's not smart. And then those candidates, if they're still really good and we've narrowed it down further, we've then got some automated and recorded video interview technology we use. So I send a simple link to the candidates and I've explained to them about the automated video interview, and they then can complete this video interview in their own time, whenever they want. They don't need me available because it is automated. They spend 10 minutes doing the video interview where the questions pop up on the screen. They finish it and it's submitted. So then my clients get access to all of that information for the shortlisted candidates, which normally there'd be 5 to 10. Then they just decide who they want to narrow down to from there, which is usually 2 or 3 maximum because they've got so much information.
The thing that I love about that is you are making them communicate, demonstrate their communication skills through video, and they kind of have to sell themselves. They have to present themselves. They've got to, communicate, and that's what business is all about. And so the old, just sending in letters and things like that, and then one meeting when everything's good and you don't really know each other and stuff, to actually have that process of, you know, the video interview and everything is perfect. So yeah, I really like that. It's probably even better than a face-to-face meeting, to be honest, because they're kind of in their normal, comfortable environment, and you haven't got all of that new sort of excitement and stress going on. So yeah, I think it's a really good process, and I don't know why more people don't do it, because it just makes sense when you actually experience it and you see the process that you do. It's just, why doesn't everyone do it this way? But trade secret.
Well, I guess for businesses to do it themselves, unless they've got somebody like myself to do it for them, they'd have to go around and shop around for the technology, decide which ones they want to use. Then they'd have to pay for it every month, which they may not need. They may not do enough recruitment for that. And then they've got to work out how to use it effectively too. It isn't something that just runs itself. You do have to know how to set it up, how to use questions properly. Because yeah, it does present some really good flexibility. We can have questions so that candidates can answer it, have 3 goes at responding. You can have it so that they only get 1 chance to respond. You can have it so that they've got time limits of 2 minutes or 5 minutes to respond. So there's a lot of flexibility in it. So it's not easy just to, you know, make it happen if you want to though either.
So at the moment, I'm having some good conversations with people who have been put in a position where they have to deal with issues and do things that they haven't done in the past. They've kind of got away with it. And one of the things, like, you know, a cash flow forecast, database management. And then as they're doing that as a matter of do it or die, they're going, oh, this actually wasn't so hard after all. And I probably should have been doing this 10 years ago when I started my business or whatever. And now hopefully they will keep doing that. Have you had any experiences of businesses who you have been introduced to recently because of this situation, and now they're finding these benefits and they're sort of having that same aha moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty well exactly a month ago to the day, a group of business professionals that we usually used to meet face to face at on the first Friday of every month. Last month was the first time they went to Zoom with that. So we all got together on Zoom and we just sort of went around the room, so to speak, of, you know, just the usual, who you are, what you do, and that sort of stuff. And I mentioned about, you know, the online technology and things. When it got around to one of the financial planners, again, I'm going to use the term in the room, it makes sense. She actually had a light bulb moment. She said, Kim, I'll be contacting you after this. She said, I'm working from home now. The firm manager's working in the office in the city, but then one of the other staff, the other 2 staff are working from home as well. And they were really busy because they're financial planners, and a lot of people and, you know, retirees, everyone are needing advice at the moment with the situation that everyone's in. So they're busy, and she needed to put on a new admin person. And she said, I don't know where to start, and I don't have time, and I don't know how to do this because I'm working from home. So yeah, and I just had that other Zoom call again today because it's the first Friday of every month, and caught up with her there. They had their admin person start this week. And they're really happy. And the firm manager actually rang me this morning as well to say that he was really happy and really thankful for the process, because yeah, all they had to do was just review candidates online, and they could do that from wherever they were. They interviewed 2 people only face to face because they had all that information. And again, they could do that with the social distancing. You have a big boardroom and it's, you know, 1 person at a time. So
Yeah, no, it's one of those positives that have come out of this experience, I guess. And it's interesting. And I've had quite a few people have aha moments of this is actually much easier. And why didn't we do this in the past? And we'll probably do this in the future. Hopefully they stick to that. So is there anything in particular that we're going to, each of us are going to send this out to our connections and everything. Hopefully this will be helpful for people. And if they're looking for people to recruit or what have you, there's been a few changes within a lot of businesses lately. Is there anything in particular that you are focusing on at the moment that you are looking for that someone might be able to help you with?
Um, well, for me, it is, trying to, connect with those HR managers or operations managers that are really just kind of a bit shell shocked at the moment and trying to cope with, all of the different changes. So not only are they trying to work out how to hold on their staff, do they stand them down? Don't they stand them down? How's this job keeper work? All of those sorts of things. But then when it comes time for them, if they do need to put on new staff, there's still people resigning and things that they don't have time to be looking at what online options there are for them, let alone implementing them. And they might be just going to good old Zoom to do the interviews and things like that. Then, I give a really flexible option where they can opt in, opt out on any part of the process. I am here to genuinely help get them results in a way that's effective for them. So I've got the technology all here and options available. So tap into it.
And I guess it's so tempting for people to go, oh, that's a good idea. I'll just use Zoom to interview candidates. And they don't know that we call it being unconsciously incompetent. They don't know what they're getting into and all the stuff that they're missing out on.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as a cheap way. Like it might look easy, but there's actually quite a process behind it. And yeah, I mean, this is a small element of a process. So for people out there that are serious about finding good people, and ultimately, we know that people are the biggest expense of any business, and they can make or break a business. It's just something that you can't try to be lucky with. You have to have a proper strategy and a team around that. Just like you have your accountant, maybe a bookkeeper to manage your finances professionally and speak with a professional to make sure that you're doing things right and you're not going to dig holes for yourself that you shouldn't be. I think it's exactly the same thing with recruitment, that you should have business as a team sport, and you should have somebody like yourself who can help to professionally manage that part of the business. And I mean, the people in the business are the ones that generate the cash flow, whether it be sales or managing stock or purchasing or whatever it is. So the people are more important. Your recruitment person could well be more important than your accountant and your bookkeeper.
Well, I think so.
Well, it's just in order of the chain, that's where it's at. So,
Yeah.
it's just, it still amazes me, people who don't recognize how important it is to get that element right. So,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate all the help you've given us over the years. It's just so nice to be able to go, I'll send you Kim's number, have a chat with her, she'll take care of it, and I don't have to think about it anymore, and you update me later on how things are going, and I'm like, great.
Yeah, no, it's been a great relationship, and I hope it will be a great relationship for another 10 years or however long we're both in business for. So no, I really do appreciate it too. And yeah, look, you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, businesses end up making decisions on staff on their gut feeling. They don't know how to get the right information so that they can make decisions effectively. They end up picking people that they like instead of people that can do the job. So
Yeah, people like them. People like to hire people like them, don't they?
they do, or they end up getting caught out with people that have just got the gift of the gab. They present well, they're saying all the right things, but they haven't really asked them the right questions in the first place. So
yeah, it's always so heartbreaking when somebody kind of manipulates the employer into hiring them, and it ends up not being a good thing for the employee or the employer. Like, it stuffs up both parties.
a lot of times it's not actually about them manipulating. It honestly is that the manager, the person who's running the interviews and the recruitment process, just simply isn't planning how to get the information. They're not asking the right questions. They're not, so the person at interview is just answering honestly and about themselves, but they haven't been asked to really delve in and respond to the critical components about the job they'll be doing. So yeah, quite often most people most people aren't manipulative and most people don't lie. Yes, you do get some, but at the end of the day, most of the time it's just that they're not asked the right questions.
I haven't hired people for a long time, like in my own businesses. But one of my favorite questions was asking people what their biggest failures were. And I don't sugarcoat it. I don't say challenges or learning experiences. I say failures. And the reason why wasn't so much for the answer they gave, but how comfortable they were in sharing their failure. Because as we know, great people are sort of proud of learning from these failures or learning experiences, as Jimmy Rohn used to call it. And it was interesting how I discovered that from hiring hundreds and hundreds of people over the years. But when I mentioned that to clients about a good question to ask candidates and things like that, I don't think anyone ever said, oh, that's a really good question. They didn't see the psychology behind it.
Yeah.
That's the sort of stuff that a trained recruiter knows about.
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day as well, I work with my clients. I'm here to support them when and how they want. I don't just say, this is how we're going to do it. I don't insist that I write the interview questions for them. It is about them still taking ownership of their decisions as well, but I'm here to help where and how they want as well. So it is certainly, I can help them with the interview questions, but usually by the time we've got to that face-to-face interview, as I said, they're only interviewing 2 or 3, and we've done most of the hard work up until that stage, so that it's less likely to be a poor decision by the time we've got to there as well.
Yeah. Well, look, I really appreciate us being able to have this chat and share it around. So what's the best way for people to contact you, Kim?
Absolutely. Look, they can go to my website. My contact details are there. We've got Facebook. I'm on that as well. But yeah, more than happy for people to contact me directly. You can flick me an email. So email address is Kim, Kim, at Acworth Recruitment, ACWORTH, recruitment, one word.com.au.
So, or they could just Google Acworth Recruitment and they could, they'll find your LinkedIn account, your Facebook page, whatever it is, and just shoot you a message as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
Cool. Okay. Well, look, and if anyone who sees this isn't aware of who I am, my name's Dan Buzzer. My company name's Profit Mechanics, and we're business consultants. I've got a team of quite a few people around the country these days. So there's a few dozen of us, which is fun. And what we do is we help people to see where their business is at and where they want to get to, and then the bridge in between, and to set up dashboards so they can see that. But in that process, if they need different people, for example, we will refer them to Kim, so we call it the concierge desk. So we've got a network of people that we trust will look after our clients. And that way we don't have to be experts in all these different areas. We just refer our clients to experts that we know what they're doing. And that's where Kim fits into this picture. So if anyone has any questions about that, just go to Profit Mechanics and you can see the logo there. You'll see the Goldie, the jumping goldfish, and just reach out. Be happy to have a chat with you. But Kim, thank you so much, and we will certainly be in touch in the near future. And when this is all over, we might even be able to have another coffee together.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has indeed. Okay, well, I'll end that now, and I just want to say thanks again. I really appreciate it. You're always a wealth of knowledge, and always great to chat with.
Thanks, Dan. Really appreciate the opportunity to chat.
Bye.